Will Smith's name once meant charm, laughter, and undeniable success. He was the Fresh Prince who grew up to be Hollywood's golden boy, a man who could make audiences laugh, cry, and cheer in equal measure. From chart-topping rap albums, to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to box office giants like Independence Day and Men in Black, his career was nothing short of extraordinary. He wasn't just an actor or musician, he was a symbol of positivity and charisma, someone parents trusted, children adored, and studios relied on. But today, at 56, Will Smith's story has taken a heartbreaking turn. Behind the million-dollar smiles and global fame lies a life scarred by betrayal, controversy, and emotional collapse. His Oscar-winning moment was overshadowed by the infamous slap that shocked the world. His marriage, once thought to be a Hollywood fairy tale, became the subject of public humiliation. And his personal confessions revealed a man far more broken than anyone could have imagined. The tragedy of Will Smith is not simply about scandals, it's about the devastating cost of fame, the weight of keeping up a perfect image, and the emotional pain of a man who seemed to have it all, yet found himself stripped of peace, respect, and stability. His story is one of rise and fall, glory and heartbreak, a story that proves even the brightest stars can burn out when the spotlight becomes too heavy to bear. Will Smith's rise to fame began with music. In the late 1980s, he formed a duo with DJ Jazzy Jeff, producing playful rap songs that were both catchy and family-friendly. Their breakthrough hit, Parents Just Don't Understand, earned them the first-ever Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance in 1989. Smith's early music career laid the foundation for his public persona, witty, relatable, and full of charisma. Television soon offered a bigger platform. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air premiered in 1990, and the show became a cultural phenomenon. Smith's portrayal of a street-smart teen navigating life in a wealthy household resonated with audiences worldwide. The show wasn't just comedy. It tackled themes of family, identity, and race, giving depth to Smith's character while highlighting his natural charm. Over 6 seasons, he became a household name, and his reputation as an entertainer who could appeal to all ages was cemented. Smith's transition to film was seamless. He quickly became one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. With Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black, he dominated summer blockbusters. Studios trusted him to carry major projects, while audiences adored his humor, action sequences, and on-screen relatability. He was no longer just the Fresh Prince. He was a global superstar, a symbol of energy, optimism, and versatility. Despite outward success, Smith's life behind the scenes was more complicated. The demands of fame, constant interviews, public appearances, and fan expectations created pressure he rarely revealed. His first marriage ended quietly, leaving emotional scars that carried into his second marriage with Jada Pinkett Smith. Even at the peak of his career, Smith struggled with personal identity and the weight of public perception. The shift toward critically acclaimed films like Ali, The Pursuit of Happiness, and eventually King Richard offered him the chance to showcase dramatic depth. These roles allowed him to earn industry respect beyond his blockbuster image, yet they also intensified scrutiny. As he pursued more serious acting, the stakes grew higher. His every move, on screen and off, was analyzed, critiqued, and, at times, ridiculed. The tragedy begins not in fame itself, but in the collision of Smith's public image with his private vulnerabilities. For decades, he projected perfection, strength, and charm, but the reality was more fragile. His story demonstrates that even the brightest stars can carry unseen burdens, and the harder they shine, the more their cracks are revealed when the world watches. March 27, 2022, was meant to be Will Smith's crowning achievement. After years of acclaimed performances, he was finally recognized with the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in King Richard. But the night took a shocking turn. During the ceremony, comedian Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, referencing her struggle with alopecia. In a moment broadcast live to millions, Will walked on stage and slapped Rock before returning to accept his Oscar. The world froze. Social media exploded, news outlets dissected the moment, and Hollywood reacted with shock and condemnation. The consequences were immediate and severe. The Academy banned Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years. Several upcoming projects were delayed or put on hold. Public opinion shifted rapidly, with many fans expressing disappointment while others debated the context of his actions. The incident overshadowed his historic win, turning what should have been a triumphant moment into a global scandal. Smith later explained that his reaction stemmed from years of pent-up emotion, humiliation, frustration, and the stress of public life. For decades, he had maintained an image of positivity and control, but in that instant, private pain erupted in a very public way. Hollywood insiders noted that Smith's response, while extreme, reflected the human cost of living under relentless scrutiny. The slap was more than a singular event. It became a symbol of the tension between fame and vulnerability. Smith's carefully curated persona, charming, likable, and unflappable, was permanently altered. Public admiration gave way to debate and criticism, and his career trajectory faced uncertainty. The event also revealed the precarious nature of celebrity. No amount of success can shield anyone from human flaws or emotional reactions. Even as he offered apologies and sought therapy, the incident reshaped the narrative of his life. The Oscar slap was a turning point, exposing the fragility behind the superstar image and signaling that even the most adored figures are susceptible to moments of intense vulnerability. It reminded the world that Will Smith, despite fame and fortune, remains human, prone to mistakes, and deeply affected by the pressures of life under the spotlight. While the Oscars incident drew global attention, Will Smith's marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith revealed the private dimensions of his heartbreak. For years, they were Hollywood's power couple, charismatic, successful, and admired. But the reality behind the public image was far more complicated. In 2020, Jada publicly disclosed an entanglement with singer August Alsina during a separation from Will. The confession aired on Red Table Talk and immediately went viral. Smith's visible pain and humiliation were on display for millions of viewers worldwide. Memes and social media commentary quickly turned a private struggle into public spectacle. Their marriage had always been unconventional, involving periods of separation and openness, but the revelation exposed the raw emotional cost. Will admitted to feeling deeply wounded, betrayed, and publicly embarrassed. The fallout was intense, not only affecting his personal life but also influencing his public persona. For fans who had long admired their relationship, the news was shocking. For Smith, it was devastating. The personal toll was significant. Smith later described episodes of depression and emotional struggle, underscoring the psychological impact of fame intertwined with intimate betrayal. A life spent projecting strength and charm left little room for private healing. Even therapy and personal reflection were made complicated by the public scrutiny that followed every statement and gesture. The consequences went beyond social humiliation. Smith's ability to trust, his confidence in relationships, and even his public image as a loving family man were questioned. The intimate challenges he faced were magnified by global attention, leaving him navigating pain with few private spaces. Though he and Jada continued to work on their marriage, alternating between separation and reconciliation, the process was anything but private. The emotional exposure became part of their narrative, reinforcing the idea that even the most admired couples can suffer heartbreak that the world cannot ignore. The collapse of their marriage, compounded by public ridicule, exemplifies the human cost of living a life constantly on display and illustrates the tragic side of Smith's story. Extraordinary success accompanied by profound personal loss. Will Smith's career is monumental. From television to music to blockbuster cinema, he has left an indelible mark on pop culture. Yet at 56, the public now views his life through a lens clouded by scandal, heartbreak, and intense scrutiny. The slap, the marital struggles, and decades of relentless exposure have reshaped his legacy. Hollywood's response has been cautious. While Smith continues to work on projects, studios, collaborators, and audiences weigh past controversies alongside his talent. Opportunities remain, but the perception of volatility and public error has altered how he navigates his career. Even as he issues apologies and engages in therapy, the shadow of past moments lingers. Beyond the industry, Smith's story speaks to the broader human experience. Fame offers adoration, privilege, and influence, but it also magnifies mistakes, amplifies private pain, and leaves little room for imperfection. The tragedy lies not only in the missteps themselves, but in the relentless judgment that follows, making it difficult to recover fully, both emotionally and professionally. Despite setbacks, Smith's achievements remain extraordinary. He has delivered performances that will endure, inspired generations through music and film, and redefined what it means to transition from television fame to global superstardom. Yet the juxtaposition of brilliance and human vulnerability defines the current perception of his legacy. Ultimately, Will Smith's tragedy is not about failure. It is about the cost of living under extreme visibility, the challenges of reconciling private pain with public expectation, and the heartbreak of human flaws exposed to the world. His story is a cautionary tale, a portrait of fame's double edge, and a reminder that even the brightest stars are subject to fallibility, heartbreak, and relentless scrutiny. The road ahead is uncertain, but Smith's story is still unfolding. He may rebuild, reconcile, and find peace, or continue to grapple with public perception. One thing is clear: the tragedy of Will Smith at 56 reminds us that fame does not insulate anyone from the human struggles of heartbreak, regret, and vulnerability.